Hello, everybody. There we go. Seems you've got to kick this thing in the side sometimes to make it work. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream. I'm Adam Steele for Hot Pole Studios, and I'm a few minutes late. Hello, everybody, because I had to pour myself a glass of wine. Been watching WandaVision with the missus, which is getting really good. We've just seen episode 5. Tonight we're going to be looking at the reamping that we did for Mischwald earlier in the week. See if we can't finish off 2 of these mixes. Might be pushing to get that done tonight, but we'll see. And also, I have breaking news. It's sad news, unfortunately, but this is a toast to the life of Rupert Neve, who passed away today, unfortunately, aged 94. A real titan of the audio industry. Built mixing desks and equipment that defined generations. So, Rupert, here's to you. Cheers. So, let's roll the intro and then dive right into some mixing. Let's go. So here we are. As it so happens, I don't think I'm using very much in the way of the entire rhythm guitars on this song goes through a classic Neve console. So yeah, or if ever you hear anything through classic Focusrite stuff, that was Rupert Neve as well. Amex stuff, Rupert Neve. All the modern Rupert Neve design stuff, a lot of the stuff from SE Electronics. The man was prolific. I believe he moved to Texas 27 years ago to retire and still just made more and more and more stuff just because he could. What a guy. But yeah. So I haven't shaved recently and my moustache hairs are now at the length where they dip into my wine. It's a little awkward. But yeah, let's... Actually, I'm just going to nip into the Evo software here and I'm going to... Oh, no, it's not even... Oh, I can't because this microphone is not going through the Evo. Typical. But that's fine. I'll just have to wing it and not be able to hear my own voice because we can do that. It's fine. Now, let's... Cool. There's no gate on the guitars, so I'll just have to manually cut that lovely analog noise out. Has the crash count ever exceeded 1? It has. It's usually, when we start getting crashes, it's usually Melodyne's fault. Although Melodyne has been updated a couple of times recently, and a lot of the crashes that Melodyne 4 used to make have now gone. So, yeah, it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. Last one before the move this week, possibly. I'm aiming, hopefully, fingers crossed, aiming to get these mixes done for Mischwald before I move, so it's one thing I don't have to think about. But we'll see how we get, because we get the keys Monday morning, but we're not doing the big move till later in the week, where I'm retiring the mixing desk in my studio and replacing it with a big rack for rack unit gear, for 19-inch U rack gear. I'm picking that up on Thursday. And some of the first things to go in there will be a pair of hand-built 1176s with some very cool modifications. But for now, I'm getting off track. Let's listen to this through, because this doesn't have... I'm just going to pull up the folder for this, because I need to throw in here some extra tracks. I need to throw all the vocals in. That's for sure. And this song's Alternaben. Yeah, for this song, I just need to throw vocals in. That's cool. But the other one had some other stuff going on. Where's the desk going? For sale. It's going or it's going back in the box, or it's going in the bin. I don't know yet, but I'm just not going to have one. I'm going super modern. I'm going screen rack gear. I don't use the desk, haven't used it in years, and it's just taking up space where I could expand out to my left and have... I think what might end up happening is I might have an amp head on top of the rack unit. So if I ever do any amp demos, I've got a place for it. If I don't end up doing that, then I might end up with another TV on top of the rack unit so I can see the live broadcast on a separate screen. But we'll see about that part later on. In the meantime, I've just had some huge bills come out. I'm getting one of my favourite bases repaired, and it's costing me nearly 700 quid just to get it repaired. Which is as much cost as a fairly well-made base. I know. Woo. But if you could see this thing, and you will when it's finished, it's worth it. Anyway, let's listen to this. Sounds to me like that's going to need to come up a little bit there. Whole guitar's a lot louder than the other songs, actually, that rhythm on guitar. So I'm going to start with that lower down. And rhythm guitar 2 is usually at -3 and it's at +2, so that's going to come down as well. I thought the guitars were kind of gumming up the mix a little bit, but they do go into a slight bus compression with that. I believe there's the Neve compressor in here, which won't be doing much if it is on at all. Ah, yes, that's right. There's the distressor. So we can take the guitars down significantly overall, and the fact that the distressor is there will mean that they still sound good. Right, sorry, I'm flicking around a bit here. Let's see if we can't get that guitar to be a little bit louder and kind of take over the other guitar. Right, I think the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take out a few plugins and all the audio files here for the other songs, because this is a separate project. Oh, I'll just undo whatever I did there. Get rid of the mixer for a minute. Because yeah, this is something I tend to do a lot, is I recycle projects, which is bad of me, I know, but if I can just quickly remove all the audio and the regions and all that good stuff. Why are there 3 regions still? Where's the region render matrix? Oh, there are only 2 regions. They're just called 2 and 3 for some reason. That's weird, but okay, fine. Says the current bitrate is higher than something. Well, it shouldn't be. And according to OBS, it isn't, so never mind. You may notice, actually, on and off topic, that my face in the corner is sharper than usual and looks rather nice. That's because I finally got myself an Elgato Camlink 4K. I'm actually using it in 1080 mode right now, but it's just so much better a capture device than the cheap Chinese version, which works. This cheap one does a thing, but yeah, I actually wanted 4K capture for some other projects I might be doing. And even in 1080 mode, I mean, look at this. It's crisp. I like it. So let's move back to what we were doing. And yeah, sorry, I'm just cleaning out the project a little bit, just holding down the Alt key while I click a load of stuff that I don't need anymore. Somebody already gave a thumbs down. Yeah, there's somebody who decided a while ago that they don't like me, so they probably have automated to thumbs down on my videos every time they come up. I don't care. It's fine. As long as... Oh, that's a lot of markers. Oh yeah, those are markers that were embedded in the song. That's cool. As long as we get overall positive feedback and everybody who's viewing this is happy with it, then if we get 1 thumbs down, I'm not going to lose any sleep. That's fine. Oh, you may also notice that the mouse is now big and purple. I did that at the studio a while back, and it occurred to me recently that I should probably do that here as well. I don't know why we've got like a double cursor on the capture there. That's weird, but yeah, it's a big purple cursor, which means that it's much easier to keep track of as I move around, so you can see what I'm doing better. Some feedback that I got a while back, and I thought, right, that's what I can do, is do almost like an accessibility style thing, because something that I worked out a while back is an old friend of mine was quite badly dyslexic, and they did all their exams on purple paper, and apparently you can read and track on purple much better. So I thought, you know what, purple mouse, easier to follow. White is good when it's on a screen right in front of you because the brightness makes it stand out, but on a capture like this with the trails as well, you can see that. Your eyes are probably following that right now, like mine are. So yeah, I'm talking about everything apart from the mix today. I do apologize, but I am a little distracted with all the current events that have been going on. But yeah, let's get the vocals in on this song, shall we? And then we'll see, before we start automating the guitars too much, what kind of work we have to do. So we've got 4 lead vocals on this one. Ooh, this could be fine. This could be a doozy. Let's find out. So I've got, I'm going to put snap back on. Lead vocals, Lars 1. Oh, yeah. So let's just get a DI channel and see where it starts. It starts at that bar. And let's just see if we line the vocals up to start at the same bar, whether they work. Cool, that sounds like it's in place. So, where's lead vocals 2? I'm going to put this one on lead vocals 2 and see what we get. All right, so that's the double of the vocal. Why have I put that on lead acoustic? cool. I'm going to get rid of rap, lead whistle, lead acoustic, because they were on a different, project. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Mike and Bell Dog. Hello, Bell. Yeah, Bell the Mastiff. Cool. So let's tidy these up somewhat. If I'm lucky, I'll be able to land the verse vocals on the same tracks as the chorus vocals. I don't particularly like kind of having 1, 2, 3, 4, like different tracks for different vocals unless they are layers and they have a sonic difference. If you get what I mean. Let's stick this down here. So this is a child track right now. Cool. So I'm gonna clean this up a bit. And I'm going to drop the doubled vocal in on that track. But I'm firstly going to bump this up to there. And look, ARA did its thing. Hello, ARA. And bring in lead vocals Pascal 2. Which I'm guessing are going to go in a similar kind of place. But let's start them at the same bar and put them... Oh, it's just on the second time round. All right. So let's split these, split. Move them down a track and see what we get here. Okay, now for one that always makes me smile. They've called this Chipmunks. Let's make sure this starts at the same place. I think I'll have them a bit louder so they come out a bit. Okay, I'm just going to hide a load of these envelopes. Bypass Melodyne. Oh. The little cogs. Because I don't need to see a lot of this, I don't think. In fact, I'm going to hit save again. And then I'm going to select all of these bars going up to about here. And I'm going to right click on the transport bar. And somewhere in here should be... remove contents of selection, moving later items. There we go. Now that's just chopped the whole start of the project off, which is great because that means that everything should I can just close a lot of this automation down because it's not being automated. At least not yet. I can always open them back up if I need them, but I just want to I'll keep everything a little bit more simple looking because I've got all this automation going on from all these other songs. And don't need it. Just bypass Echo Boy. Is there a video about my process for mixing a project in this fashion on the Reaper course? Unfortunately, there is not, because that course is specifically about using Reaper rather than how to mix. Unfortunately, they are two separate things and they are framed as such. The Reaper course is, this is how you use this tool, how you want to mix is up to you. Oh, yeah, Al talking about gain staging. Fantastic. That's a video that comes out for most people on Monday, but if you're a patron, that is available now. Yes, thank you, Paul. I mean, it is coming together, but it's coming together, but it's not finished. We've got backing vocals to go in yet. But this is how I've kind of been doing the songs for this band for Mischwald, is I've been doing it bit by bit. So I've got, looks like I've got 4. I'm just going to duplicate that. 4 backing vocals to go in, and I'm going to drop all of these in like so on separate tracks. Make sure they go in at the right time, because otherwise it's going to sound really stupid. And I've got a group for it. And I'm going to just pan flow left and right, because he's got 2 tracks apparently. Let's see what that sounds like from here. Right, so there's our first candidate for automation. I want to hear more of that. Yeah, briefly show what's going on with the Shadow Hills. I don't use it to do very much, honestly. It's very subtle. So I get my thresholds on the discrete and the optical to just tickle. Now, if you look closely before I hit play on these, this is not a stereo set of meters. This is 2 very different meters. I think, yeah, the one on the left is set. That's how much gain reduction you're going to get on the optical compressor. And the one on the right is how much gain reduction you're going to get on the discrete compressor. It makes you go a bit cross-eyed at first until you kind of learn how to read it. But you'll probably see about 1 dB each on here. It's funny, I've got no makeup gain at all going on there, so it actually makes things quieter when you turn it on, which makes it sound like it should be worse. But it's, you know, I've not perfectly matched the volume for turning it on and off, which is, but there you go. It just helps keep everything just solid. Now, I can hear that I think the vocals overall are too loud for this song. Which is all right. We'll just turn them down a bit. What I mean is the drums, the bass, and the guitars are a bit too quiet. So if I bring them up around the vocals, suddenly I'm smashing the output too loud. So instead, if I just bring down the vocals a bit, it sounds weird, but you've got to let your ears kind of adjust for a second, which is why I'm talking to you now before I hit play. Let's see how good this sounds when I hit play. Right, so that one that says it's a backing vocal, yeah, that backing vocal there, I'm actually going to move that. That's going to go up on what I would call a lead vocal, but that's because it then ends up in the same group as those, because that's not a chant like those other 3 are. That's a proper type.
Doch ich kann dich nicht vergessen, ganz egal wie viel ich von dir zerstöre. Die Narben im Gewebe meiner Seele reißen auf, wenn ich deinen Namen höre. Du bist lang vor, ich hab dich doch vorschein in den Ruinen längst vergangene Zeiten und Erinnerungen. Bist ein Fragment, ein
Right, so that solo there sounded good. It was a bit flubby in the low end, and probably a little bit loud and overpowering everything, but not too much. Like, we're talking small amounts here, and small amounts I can live with. Let's just pull the low end in a bit. Yeah. So, not a big fan of that. So, I'm going to good old automation, add a couple of points here, and slowly, I say slowly, fade that out. Looks like I've got another guitar going on as well, and that faded out far too quick. That was actually a pretty dramatic fade out. I didn't want that much. Let's just... There we go. There we go. Fade that a bit as well. And that's not the right volume. That's the one I want. This is where it gets really confusing, having too many automation lanes open. So I'm just going to hide a load of them and use this one. Bring that down just a bit. Right, so there's actually like a bass solo here, which should be interesting. Let's just see what we can do with Mammoth. I'm going to push... Oh. I'm going to push the treble pretty hard, see what we get. Right, that's not quite what I had in mind. Right, so I've got this, which is at -2. Let's see what happens if I crank that. Cool, so that's going to be an automation point there, I think. Also just turn up the bass for that section. Between those two, that should cover most of it. So if I had 4 dB on the bass, and where am I looking? Bass group. There's the trim button, which brings up our automation menu. And I'm looking on 4000 console. I'm looking for EQ, low mid, gain. So you can see how I've absolutely cranked it to plus 15. Usually it's down at -2. So if I bring that down, stop it, -2. Now automation's a funny thing. If I now bring that up again, watch this knob go whoosh. Actually, this particular song seems quite well played by the bass player, so I'm going to bring his mids up a bit for the rest of the song. Cool, that's sounding good. One thing I think I do need on this song is our good old friend, Mr. Melodyne. Because this song's punky, but maybe a little bit too punky, if you know what I mean. It's pushing it a bit. So, let's see, Mr. Melodyne, what do we get? Oh. If I open that up and then move something, there we go. All it took was a small twinge and it went, oh, me? You mean me? Oh, you mean these vocals? Yes, those vocals, Melodyne. Well done. So, if these are the right kind of size where I can see what I'm doing, I can select everything and hit the pitch. Now I like to nudge the pitch center around 100%, but pitch drift I don't do all the way. Don't want to snap it to a chord, that would be weird because I've not told it what key we're in. And hit OK. Now let's see from... Oh. Not getting all crashy on me, are you, Melodyne? Not going to have to add one to the crash count, because that wouldn't be fun. Right, so back to here. Let's... Oh, it's being a bit herky-jerky with me. Technical term, herky-jerky. It's as much herky as it is jerky. Let's listen from here. So that's a D. Let's zoom in that way a bit. So we've got less octaves going on. Which means that the song is in A minor. So, yeah. Do, 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 do. No, it isn't. It's in G minor. Sorry, buddy. It's actually G minor. Or is it?
Kaputte Fenster,
No, it is. It is.
kaputte Fenster und die letzten kaputte Fenster und die letzten Haufen Glut. Die Augen drehen, die Asche brennt im Hals. Augen drehen, die Asche brennt im Hals. Augen drehen, die Asche brennt im Hals. Doch ich kann dich nicht vergessen, ganz egal wie viel ich von dir zerstöre. Die Narben im Gewebe meiner Seele reißen auf, wenn ich deinen Namen höre.
Nice. Now, again, just be aware, I'm not looking for perfection here. I don't want this to be... Oh, trying to save the effects chain there. I don't want this to be perfect. I'm just looking for any notes that are way off and just bringing them close enough that it feels good, it feels right, but still feels kind of punky.
Du bist lang vor, ich hab dich doch waschen in dem Ruinen längst
Like, they should all probably even... Yeah. Ba-da, 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 ba-da.
Du bist lang vor, ich hab dich doch waschen. Du bist lang vor, ich hab dich doch waschen. Du bist lang vor, ich hab dich doch waschen in dem Ruinen längst vergangener Zeiten.
They should probably be, yeah, up there.
Du bist lang vor, ich hab dich doch waschen in dem Ruinen längst vergangener Zeiten und Erinnerungen, bis ein Fragment ein Überbleib.
Oh.
Erinnerungen, bis ein Fragment ein Überbleib. Bis ein Fragment ein Überbleib. Bis ein Fragment ein Überbleibsel und ich Fragment ein Überbleibsel. Fragment ein Überbleibsel und ich würde dich gerne graben in die Tränenwut. Graben in die Tränenwut und verbilden. Doch ich kann dich nicht vergessen, ganz egal wie viel ich von dir zerstöre. Die Narben im Gewebe meiner Seele reißen auf, wenn ich deinen Namen höre.
Proper classic punk song. Yeah, didn't need much doing to it to make it work. Because, yeah, if I do too much to that, if I work too hard on the vocal tuning, it'll just sound wrong. So let's try it again. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Wolken verhangen, überall Schutt und Dreck. In den Straßen steht der Rauch. Kaputte Fenster und die letzten Haufen Glut. Die Augen drehen, die Asche brennt im Hals. Doch ich kann dich nicht vergessen, ganz egal wie viel ich von dir zerstöre. Die Narben im Gewebe meiner Seele reißen auf,
Good question from David there on the Twitch chat. Before we move on to the next song, because I think I'm done there. Do you concern yourself with the tempos for the various regions, or do you mix with the timeline and not measures and beats? I do like to make sure that everything is right in terms of the tempo, mostly just so that reverbs, delays especially, that have got that time matching thing, so that they're good. And so I can see whether everything's in time or not, before I start investigating with my ears if something's wrong. And I'm more strict on it with genres that need it, like prog metal, industrial, anything electronic where timekeeping is everything. But if there's a genre where it's a little bit looser, I mean, if I get given a song and I don't get given a tempo, that's fine. I'll usually work out a rough tempo of it, like I said, just to tempo match delays. But at that point, if it's a song that's been done freewheel with no tempo, then I just roll with it. That's all you can do. So, yeah, in that point, I don't spend half an hour getting your bar by bar by bar perfect kind of, working bars out. Sod it. Doesn't help you. So, on to this one. Let's see what we get. I think the bass players definitely stepped it up a notch on these last two songs. So I'm going to give him a bit more low mids just to stand out in the mix a bit more. Now let's see what other files I've got for this one, because this isn't the whole arrangement here. Although actually this one looks easier in terms of vocals. I've got lead vocals 1, which I'm going to drop in. I'm going to put my snap on and use that bar there. Find my vocals, lead vocals 1, drop you in. And Melodyne's already doing its thing. And then lead vocals 2. I'm going to drop that in. Looks like that's the one for the doubles there. So I'm just going to tidy these up. Throw my backing vocals in. Come on, Adam, put your teeth in. And there we go. Clean them all up, just so I can see what's where, And
Hast du das schon mal erlebt, dass sich die Erde viel schneller als sonst bewegt? Sie rennt davon, du bleibst stehen, schaust hinterher, kannst nicht weitergehen. Die Luft ist raus, kein Ende in Sicht. Wie wär's mit Aufstehen? Du kannst nicht, steigst den Kopf tiefer in den Sand. Statt durchzudrehen, rennst du gegen die Wand.
cool. Right, let's throw on the good old chipmunks, which chipmunks for these guys seems to mean like higher harmony part.
Statt durchzudrehen, rennst du gegen die Wand.
Let's not do that. And 2 backing vocals I've got here. Flo and Pascal here. So let's just get them on their separate tracks. There's no real need for me to do that, but sod it. And let's see.
Komm, spul das Ding noch mal zurück. Von dem Moment, in dem die Nackenhaare dir zu Berge stehen. Komm, spul das Ding noch mal zurück. Kannst nur gewinnen. Mach nach Hause gehen, jetzt echt mal keinen Sinn.
Right, I'm going to change the backing vocals a little. I've just pulled up the effects on the other screen. The low cut sounds really anemic on them. I wonder if that's on the 4000 series. No. Is it on that mix rack? No. Okay, just sounds like there's not a great deal of low end on these then. All right.
Mal zurück. Hol dir noch ein Stück. In dem Moment, in dem die Nackenhaare dir zu Berge stehen. Komm, spul das Ding noch mal zurück. Kannst nur gewinnen. Mach nach Hause gehen, jetzt echt mal keinen Sinn.
Well, I think that's all the files for this one. So let's just listen to this song through. In fact, let's listen to the rough mix of this one. And see if there's anything I've not caught.
Hast du das schon mal erlebt, dass sich die Erde viel schneller als sonst bewegt? Sie rennt davon, du bleibst stehen, schaust hinterher, kannst nicht weitergehen. Die Luft ist raus, kein Ende in Sicht. Wie wär's mit Aufstehen? Du kannst nicht, steigst den Kopf tiefer in den Sand. Statt durchzudrehen, rennst du gegen die Wand. Der Kopf ist leer, die Beine schwer und die Richtung stimmt, weißt du nicht mehr. Die Handvoll Stempel von letzter Nacht, endlich mal wieder durchgemacht. Die Sonne scheint dir ins Gesicht, schon 10 Minuten ruft die Pflicht. Mit dem Moped geht's quer durch die Stadt, von jetzt auf gleich wieder in Fahrt. Komm, spul das Ding noch mal zurück. Hol dir noch ein Stück von dem Moment, in dem die Nackenhaare dir zu Berge stehen. Komm, spul das Ding noch mal zurück. Hol dir noch ein Stück, kannst nur gewinnen.
Right, so the main takeaway I got from that was more backing vocals in general is fine. Can make sure that's up a bit.
Von dem Moment, in dem die Nackenhaare dir zu Berge stehen. Komm, spul das Ding noch mal zurück. Kannst nur gewinnen. Mach nach Hause gehen.
Those whirs cut through too much, so they can just go down a bit. But they don't need to go down a huge amount. And same over here. And I just need to change the balance a little on the chorus vocals to bring the others up to make it a bit more gangy.
Weißt du nicht mehr, die Handvoll Stempel von letzter Nacht, endlich mal wieder durchgemacht. Die Sonne scheint dir ins Gesicht, schon 10 Minuten ruft die Pflicht. Mit dem Moped geht's quer durch die Stadt, von jetzt auf gleich wieder in Fahrt. Komm, spul das Ding noch mal zurück. Von dem Moment, in dem die Nackenhaare dir zu Berge stehen. Komm, spul das Ding noch mal zurück. Kannst nur gewinnen. Mach nach Hause gehen, jetzt echt mal keinen Sinn. Komm, spul das Ding noch mal zurück. Von dem Moment.
Now this one doesn't sound like it needs any vocal tuning. This one sounds pretty bang on to me. Let's listen from the start, see if anything catches our ear.
Hast du das das schon mal erlebt, dass sich die Erde viel schneller als sonst bewegt. Sie rennt davon, du bleibst stehen, schaust hinterher, kannst nicht weitergehen. Die Luft ist raus, kein Ende in Sicht. Wie wär's mit Aufstehen? Du kannst nicht, steigst den Kopf tiefer in den Sand. Statt durchzudrehen, rennst du gegen die Wand. Von letzter Nacht endlich mal wieder durchgemacht. Die Sonne scheint dir ins Gesicht. Schon 10 Minuten ruft die Pflicht. Mit dem Moped geht's quer durch die Stadt. Von jetzt auf gleich wieder in Fahrt.
Oh yeah, those have all been assigned to rims. No.
Stempel von letzter Nacht. Die Sonne scheint, die Minuten ruft die Pflicht. Mit dem Moped geht's quer durch die Stadt. Von jetzt auf gleich wieder in Fahrt. Komm, spul das Ding nochmal zurück. Von dem Moment, in dem die Nackenhaare dir zu Berge stehen. Komm, spul das Ding nochmal zurück. Kannst nur gewinnen. Macht nach Hause gehen jetzt echt mal keinen Sinn.
Even in. Ooh, that's a cheeky hiss I can hear there. Here goes Dick. Let's clean that right up. Hello, hello, Nick and Chris. Welcome, welcome.
Komm, spul das Ding nochmal zurück. Von dem Moment, in dem die Nackenhaare dir zu Berge stehen. Komm, spul das Ding nochmal zurück. Kannst nur gewinnen. Macht nach Hause gehen jetzt echt mal keinen Sinn.
Classic pop punk. Let's just. Let's just stop them hissing like an airplane went to take off. And yeah, fade them out too, because they're, yeah, like I said, they're waiting for a taxi. There we go, and that region can come in a bit there. And I think that's the mix on these two done. But what I'm going to do, yeah, it is not warm in the UK. I'd be quite happy with 32. No, I wouldn't be happy with 32 degrees. I would die. But that's not the point. Region matrix. Oop. I want these two master mix. Yes, please. So what I'm going to do now is export these two. I'm going to stop my Dropbox from uploading so we don't suddenly go to hell during the... But this is all 44.1 because that's what the band sent me. So let's go with mix 1 for these. Export them into that folder, which is a bit weird, but there you go, it's fine. 32-bit floating point, no good reason why, but why not? And let them export for a minute. And while they do that, yeah, that's only going to take 2 minutes. That's good. Yeah, -2. That's Celsius, so it's pretty cold. That's oh yeah, we get a jacket with doing exports, but that's fine. I just upgraded the capture to an Elgato Camlink 4K, and it seems to be dealing with CPU spikes a lot better than the cheap Chinese one was. So it's still a little bit jerky, as you can see. If you look at the bottom right, if you look at my face, you can see it start to stutter a bit, but that'll go in a minute. And yeah, I've finished the mix on the previous thing that I was working on for Sky Asylum. I got to mix 12, would you believe? But it was mostly fine-tuning and looking for little things, and then going back and listening to my favourite albums. Yeah, my processor does not like doing both at the same time, and that's okay because it's a rare occurrence. I mean, whose computer would like doing that? In the future, I'm hoping to have a separate stream computer to the actual mix computer, but we'll see, because that's just extra resources, you know. But hopefully that's going to be a thing, and that'll take some load off. Actually, I wonder if X264 would handle on that affordable laptop that I got, the Lenovo T420. It might not like that at all, but we'll see. We'll explore that avenue. See if it works at all. It might not. So for albums I listened to recently, Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park has a very interesting mix to it, which is not quite perfect mix for one, but there were certain things that came to mind, like the bass on that song, on that album, that whole album has a very distinctly quite full 200 to 400 hertz region. And I was listening to, I think it was mix 7 or mix 8 of the Sky Asylum track in John Brown's room, slamming, but it didn't feel like there was much bass to it. There was loads of sub. Do I have my DAW set to save every 15 minutes automatically, or do I stick to muscle memory? Both. I have it set to every 15 minutes background save, a time-stamped backup. It doesn't save over the main project unless I tell it to. But yeah, it can. So now to hit save, close this project. And actually, we're going to have a little interlude here, and I'm going to play that Sky Asylum song. A lot of you will have heard it on the podcast already, but this is like I said, mix 12. So this is just what happens when you refine and refine and refine and refine, that it's actually got more low end and a bit more volume. Actually, I just slammed it a bit harder, but also the verse vocals stand out a little more, but they're not overly harsh. I lent on Soothe by Oak Sound a bit more and let go of the EQ a little bit to balance it out, and that seems to have made me just happier in general. But it's all subtleties. But listen to how this kicks you in the face. John Brown called this Celine Dion metal, which I like. Ta-da. Cool. Yeah, so that's what I got up to with there, and I'm really quite happy with that. And now we'll move on to the mastering project for Mischwald. And this is where the proof is really going to be in the pudding, because I should be able to just drop this in, and it should be perfect. And I say should with the because I don't know. It's been that long. The aim of the game with these two songs has not necessarily been creative mixing. It's been almost competitive mixing to try and match the other songs that are on this album. So let me find on this other page on the other screen the two tracks, Alte Narben and Spul zurück. Now they both look a little bit louder. Let's hope that we're okay. Let's listen to a bit of the Reaper and then just flick to Alte Narben. Isn't that annoying? My copies of Ozone 9 were actually NFR, not for resale, because I did a video on it. And that means that it stopped working now. Great. I mean, they'll still work for 10 days, but after that, I'll roll back to Ozone 8, which I own. And that's annoying. But if Ozone 10 comes out, you bet your backside I'll be on to Isotope like, me, I want that. There we go. Sorry, I'm skipping around. But this is just a test that I do with a master to make sure that just random selection parts of the album, it's what I do with album mastering, is make sure random parts of it all just feel like they belong together. Not looking at the meters, I'm just listening. Okay, so Benjin chat is asking about iLock and demo licenses. I'm pretty sure as long as they are deactivated from your physical iLock, that removes them from the physical iLock and then they're just in your iLock account. And if they're in your iLock account, you can just hide them at that point, and that's not a problem then. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you can deactivate demos from your physical iLock. Yeah. Cheeky little in there, which I want to get rid of.
Hast du das schon mal erlebt, dass sich die Erde viel schneller als sonst bewegt? Sie rennt davon, du bleibst stehen, schaust hinterher, kannst nicht weitergehen. Die Luft ist raus, kein Ende in Sicht. Wie wär's mit Aufstehen? Du kannst nicht, steigst den Kopf tiefer in den Sand. Statt durchzudrehen, rennst du gegen die Wand. Der Kopf ist leer, die Beine schwer und die Richtung stimmt, weißt du nicht mehr.
Cool. Yeah. Chris says, yeah, major Blink vibes. It's the Blink tone. It's a dual rectifier and a JCM 800. It's just that's the sound. So yeah, and the mastering reference, which I've not played on stream for obvious reasons, copyright reasons, is I've used Green Day's American Idiot. That's what's muted there, because it's still in pop punk quite a good relevant sound to master too. It's a little bit more upper mid forward and a bit low end light compared to a lot of modern songs, which is why the master here that you're hearing is a little bit low end light and a bit in the upper mids. It's a tonal thing. But that's why I've gone with that. And that's why the last thing before the limiter at the end, flatline, is a copy of Soothe from Oak Sound, just to catch any horrible kind of honks. And there's a distinct, what you call it? There's a bass catcher there for any kind of honks in the bass. But yeah, that hopefully is the album. Now, I'm going to hit save. Sorry, I'm being all ignorant and looking at my phone at the moment. I'm just going to stick it to cam only. If anyone's got any questions, fire away whilst I look on my phone, which I know is terrible of me, but what I'm doing is I'm looking for there we go. Right, okay, so let's close this project tab for a minute, and I think the song 16 was one of the songs from 2 to 4, but I can't remember rightly now, so we're going to open up that, and any minute now this is going to load up the 1 million plugins, because one of the feedbacks was in the song 16 there's a slight unbalance of guitars and vocals compared to the other songs. It could be an arrangement thing, and the vocals are a bit too loud, which makes the lyrics hard to understand. 16, there we go, here we go. Yeah, so that's minus 3.01. I'm going to select every point on guitar 1's automation and bring it down by a dB. And same on rhythm guitar 2. I'm just going to add some points in between the songs so that I can bring everything down. Oh, no, that's not bringing everything down. Note to self. Let's just check this lot and see if that was doing it. There we go. Hopefully that covers that. If not, we can always revisit that and just keep tweaking that until we are cooked. And what was the other song? Berate. Oh, that's right there. Cool. So on Berate, after the guitar solo, the overall volume feels like could do the slight boost. Well, let's find the guitar solo on Berate, because that's confusing.
Hemmungslos voll motiviert stehen wir hier konzentriert.
Right, I think my interpretation here is that that was the end of the guitar solo. So let's just bump that. Because I think I know what he means there. It just loses a little energy. There we go. I think that covers it. Let's do that and find out. So, region matrix, I only need 2 and 3 to give me the master mix this time. We're calling this mix 9, which is German for no. Mix no. So this could mean that we need a revisit, but hopefully not. But all being well, this is the finished album. Yeah. Das Hokey Cokey. That reminds me of course, that thing from them stuff. Words, come on, people. Yes, Pascal just sent me a message saying exactly. Yes. So, cool. I'm thinking that this should be the completion of the album. Now, never say never, because I may get a message next week saying, can you just change this? Can you just change that? Because it happens. Oh, big stretch. Thank you very much, Danny. Yeah, it's been quite the effort getting this album together, but in a good way. It's feels good to have a completed project, especially when I start moving house like on Monday. Yeah, it's good to have something in the bag. Yeah, big stretch. And to celebrate the completing of projects, I bought myself a couple of new chairs. Someone, I think it might have been Al actually, was asking me in the new video, the gain staging video, you can see that I'm sat in a Herman Miller chair, Herman Miller Aeron. I would never buy one new because I'm far too tight. They cost far too much money. But I found a place very close to John Brown's studio, which is where I was, that how many revisions do I? Yeah, sorry. So there was a warehouse that was selling Herman Millers for a lot less than retail. So I was like, yeah, great, I'll have 2. How many revisions do I usually allow on a project? It depends on the artist. It depends on if I'm invested in it, really. So the short answer is I usually allow far more revisions than anyone should in their right mind. But then I only tend to work with people who I know are going to give me good artistic feedback. I try and avoid the kind of people who'll just call you at 4 a.m. and just go, oh, can you turn the snare up? And it's like, no. Also, I tend to have a system, which I think I used with Mischwald, which was, before you come back to me with any revisions, talk amongst yourselves as a band, make sure you all agree, make sure that these changes that you want are for good reason, and if so, that's the artistic vision. I'm more than happy to make those changes. Also, I am a bit of a tone chaser. You may have noticed, like, that in the break there in between the mixes and the mastering, that song that I played you, that was mix 12 of that song. Now, I'm not expecting to do 12 mixes of the other songs on that album. I might end up doing, I don't know yet. But for me, it's whatever it takes to end up at a point where I can listen to something on any system and go, you know what, that can go on the radio tomorrow, and nobody is going to say, oh, it's a good song, but I wish they'd made it, I wish they'd gone to a good mixer. That's the aim. That's the hope. That's the dearest hope. And yeah, if it means I stay up at night having to put extra hours in to make it as good as it can be, then so be it, because that's how I work. Yeah. It's all a passion project for me, even though, you know, I need to do it for money to keep the lights on so we can live and pay the family bills and all that kind of stuff. If I won the lottery tomorrow and was a millionaire, I would still be doing this. And I would still be waking up in the middle of the night going, this needs changing. So I need to replace this with mix 9. And I need to replace berate with choose new file, mix 9. But yeah, it's the old thing of working on albums like working on a film, and you know, it's never finished. You just have to walk away at some point and say, I did my best. But yeah, let's see how this sounds now. Yep, so that doesn't lose energy now. Let's listen to this. Right, I need to go back to the mix for 16 again. I think, even though it's partly because the guitars are kind of higher up in the register, that they have some more high mids that are combating the vocals, but also I just compared them to a different song there, and the other song felt like it had more in the vocals. So I need to compensate for that. I need to push up the vocals, even though on the mix there I did bring the guitars down. It sounds like I also need to bring the vocals up. Now let's have a look at what we got. Now that might have gone too far, but let's see. Just 16 is the song we want this time. This is mix 10. See, this is one of the reasons why I end up with a huge number of mixes as well. Sometimes it's a single change that can have a wider impact, which is why I render things out, listen to them in separate contexts. And sometimes it'll be a single change from one mix to the next. But that's exactly how it used to be in the tape mixing days. It looks like a lot of mixes, but I know a lot of guys who would have that number of mixes, except they don't export them at milestones, and I do. And that means that by keeping them all, I can backtrack through the files and just listen and quickly flick between them and go, okay, well, it sounded better at this previous mix in this area. Why? And start asking myself questions and learn. Hey, Marty is on Twitch for some reason. He's been surfing his Twitch streamers again. Hey, we're all doing good, mate. Hope you are good too. Yes. Let's see how many people are watching this on a Saturday night. We hit a peak of 20 at one point, which is cool. We're down to 13 now, which is fine. And plenty more on catch up, I'm sure. It is the night before Valentine's, of course. So if you're stuck at home, yeah, so are the rest of us. Yeah, we got ourselves a takeaway, which is, you know, the best of all romance options when you're in a national lockdown and live with your partner. But yeah, the fact that this is slower than 2 times real time is that really says something at this point. That this, I know I'm on a laptop, but it's like a 6-core monster, and it should be faster than this. But this mix is quite dense at this point. I think later this year, depending on how jobs go, I might treat myself to a proper mixing PC. But we'll see. Because I've got a proper mixing PC at the studio, of course, but can't really be moving that from the studio on a whim. Now let's F2 and choose new file. Put a 16 version 10 in here and see what this does.
Dann all die Partys und für 'n Tag, ich hätt dich gern dabei. Das Gefühl zu haben, allein das 16. Lass alles liegen und sei leise, denn wir gehen jetzt auf die Reise. Und wir starten in denselben Tag, genau wie es damals war. Erstmal sportlich Zigarette und der Kopf ist wieder klar. Dann all die Partys und Konzerte, sowas wie Schule oder Arbeit. Ich kannte keinen, der sich drum scherte. Mein Herz ist wieder 16 und ich hätt dich gern dabei. Pack deine Sachen, steig jetzt ein.
That's better. We can hear the vocals now. But that, ladies and gentlemen,
Mitgenommen, doch ich seh dich schon da vorne.
that is the album. I'm pretty sure anyway. Let's just shift and double click this and call this Alter Na Ben with a nice bracket on there. And spool Zurück. Done. Now, the last thing I'll do, and I'll do this before I sign off just to show you, is I'm going to export all the mastering for this. So I'm calling this Mischwald Mastering 4 dash, and then I'm going to put a $ region number. So we actually get a number in here. And this, where it says render 2, tells me exactly what each song file is going to be called. And so I've now got 9 regions, and it's going to give me a WAV file 24-bit and an MP3 for every single one of these. Yeah, wrap it up and put a bow on it. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. Also, if anyone was seeing the Flatline LUFS numbers, it's quite a loud album, but also the out was at 00. One slight oversight, I think, in Flatline is there's no, when these are linked, they're not linked to threshold in the output in a way where you move one and it moves the other. They are literally mirrored. So, like, these are at 5.76. Just for example, if I turn the threshold on this crazy 16 and that's 5, if I now link them and move one, it snapped the output, which means that that's a pain. So 5.76, yeah. It means that I can't get an extra dB of pure headroom on top. So my track is actually at -1 dB. So any LUFS value you see there, notch it down by 1 for the output. If you see -8 there, it's actually going out at -9, and so on and so forth. And that extra dB there is to give like MP3 coders and AAC encoders and Spotify and all that kind of thing an extra dB of conversion headroom. Yeah, I tend to leave them linked because I like to hear the difference as I move it. But at the same time, yeah, that's my solution, is to actually just take a dB of volume off after flatline. So there you go. And then, yeah, so we've got the track name. If I hit down where it says 18 files, that shows me what every file is going to be called. Nice little feature of Reaper there. So yeah, full speed, offline. Go to that folder. Thank you very much. Good night. And that is going to churn them out. It's going to take a good long while. But there's nothing more to see, nothing more to hear. So thank you everybody for joining me on this journey. It's been, yes, exporting them both separately. Yeah. Mix a couple of buses, Loudmaster and Streaming Master. I've given up. I just do Streaming Master whatever I like the sound of. That was my philosophy for a while, and I've just gone, yeah, sod it. If it sounds good, it sounds good. It's a good incentive to not overcook the limiter, but quite often the limiter's part of the sound, and I think I've accepted that now. So yeah, there you go. That's my current and evolving philosophy on mastering limiters. So yes, I hope you've all enjoyed this stream and this series. This brings the Mischwald series to a close. Next up is going to be the Sky Asylum series. We've got a whole album to go out there. You've heard song number 1. And song number 2 is going to come up very soon. I think the song is called Everything. Let's have a look. Yeah, so I've got a song called Everything, and I've got the song we've mixed called The Arcane, and the rest of the album will be making its way over to me in due course. But first, I'm going to move house. So I'm probably... big hiccup. Probably going to document the building of my new little home office studio room. And I'm also going to try and get a bit of footage of my other new studio, which is room 3 at Riffhard headquarters. I'm expanding. I'm taking over this town. It's hilarious. But yes, check out Mischwald. I'll try and let you all know when the album is released. But until then, thank you everybody for watching. And I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye. Hey everyone. That might be the end of the video, but if you fancy carrying on this conversation, we have a Discord server. Link is in the description. We're also on Patreon, which is something you can really help us with. We also are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Hot Pole Studios. See you there.